Street, Louis. A year ago it began to all fall apart for the Mets after their shocking 11-1 start. Following a 9-4 start this season, the Mets have lost 4 of the last 5. Despite a different look and a new front office, they have already entered the danger zone. Sure, this team is built to avoid another collapse with more depth, but these are the Mets, and anything is possible. They've lost 2 straight heading into a 3-game series against the Cardinals, which begins Friday night at Busch Stadium. Never an easy task, the end of a 3-city red flag road trip. Then, it is 10 games at home, the first 6 against the revamped Phillies and the Brewers, who made it to Game 7 of the NLCS last season. This is going to be a test of the team's depth and Mickey Callaway's ability to make the pieces fit. The Mets and Callaway could not make the necessary adjustments last year and paid the price, falling out of the NL East race in June. Last year the Mets were still 15-6 after beating the Cardinals in 10 innings to open an April series at Busch Stadium when things really started to collapse. Steven Matz couldn't get out of the 4th inning in a 9-1 loss, and the next day the Mets lost in 13 innings. They lost 9 of their next 12 and never recovered. With Matz coming off the worst start of his life, the Mets must remember that collapse and learn from it. This year, it looks as if the teams in the East will beat up on each other, so it is imperative to play well against the Central. The Mets were 13-20 against the Central last season. Survive against the beasts of the East and thrive against the other divisions. Bold Brodie Van Wagenen said his Mets were the team to beat in the East. So far they are 3-0 against the terrible Marlins and 6-7 against the rest of the division. What is particularly disturbing is the pitching, which was supposed to be the strength of this team. Mets starters are 25th in the majors with a 5.48 ERA, and it gets worse, they are 27th in relievers ERA with a stunning 5.87 ERA and a 1.70 WHIP. Friday night will be fascinating. Jacob deGrom was pushed back to Saturday because of strep throat, and now the Mets, because they have nowhere else to turn, are counting on Jason Vargas to end the slide. That speaks volumes about the lack of starting depth in the organization. Some Mets fans made their way here for the 3-game series, and this was overheard Thursday. Some fan chit-chat, Vargas is starting Friday night, yeah, we might as well not go over to the ballpark until the bullpen is in the game. That's exactly where the fans' confidence level is with Vargas, who will be making his 23rd start for the Mets over the last 2 years. If Vargas puts them in another bad spot, the demand to sign DeLos Keuchel will grow. Vargas is a competitor, comments need to be retired. Vargas' numbers are cartoon-like. He owns a 14.21 ERA this season. He has faced 37 batters and struck out only 3. He has allowed 14 hits to those 37 batters. His WHIP is 2.84. The lefty throws in the low 80s and is getting pummeled. Pitching coach Dave Eiland still believes in Vargas because he has mound courage. Courage can only go so far. Vargas is 36, he may be at the end of his career. The Yankees just passed a stern test in winning both games against the lost Red Sox. The Mets need to pass a similar test. The Cardinals are a stern test with Paul Goldschmidt leading the offense. These Cardinals have not seen much of Vargas, but Matt Carpenter is 5 for 5 against him lifetime. Rookie Pete Alonso, the feel-good story for the Mets, has slowed a bit. No surprise. Pitchers have made an adjustment to Alonso, who looks to hit the ball the other way most times. So now he is going to have to prove he can turn and burn on the inside stuff. Alonso is batting .200 over his last 6 games with only 1 extra base hit, a double. In so many ways the Mets have entered the danger zone. Share this, let's block ads.